It is my privilege to welcome Suhas Patil, one of the original founders of TiE. He was the first president of TiE. He was the first seed investor to bring TiEcon to what it is today. Suhas, it's a true pleasure to welcome you.
Thank you.
Suhas, this is the 20th year of TiE, 57 chapters, more growing, 14 countries, 5 continents. If I take you back to 1992-93 timeframe, what was the vision?
In the beginning, actually we were searching for giving expression to our broad desires to give back to the community and the society. We spent nearly 1 year doing this thing. AJ would organize monthly meetings and we'll all show up and deliberate. Okay? Out of that emerged that what we could uniquely do and probably would have greatest impact if we shared our learnings from School of Hard Knocks with the next generation of entrepreneurs and mentored them and set them up for success, which then would reflect, in wealth creation in the society. We were also extremely mindful at that time that we wanted to set the standards of conduct, the standards, ethical standards, and the value system. And if we didn't do it, then who was going to do it? So it's kind of fell upon us as our responsibility to do that. And then later we figured out the vehicle for doing so would be a not-for-profit organization where those who were successful and were in a position to give, okay, and were willing to do that, would be charter members, and pass on their learning and support upcoming entrepreneurs. And we found that a good part of it was if they got inspired and believed by looking at our stories or little support that they can do it too, then it would unleash this wave, right? So that's really how there was no magic to it. It was not done in one day. And our assessment was correct, and our teamwork was perfect to bring it about.
But it also took, along with many other people like yourselves, you were one of the first original successes for Indian American Silicon Valley when you founded Cirrus Logic and took it public. So it was a big achievement, and I think it resonated with a lot of other aspiring entrepreneurs to have people like you and many others around that. Now that we are here, it has, we get about 4,000 people for a conference, and there are TiEcons around the world happening and TiE summits in India. So the inspiration and the aspiration part is still there, but many folds. It's still many folds. When you look at the present conferences and the stature of TiE, that other ethnicities want to associate with it because of what we have shown, because we are not non-political, non-religious, entity. How do you see that evolving from the original days? I mean, I think what I see and many others see is the spirit of TiE, the values are still there, intrinsic as it was when it started.
The values are very, very much there. Okay? What has changed is the confidence that people from our community and others who are associated with us that they can do it too. Okay, it's sort of it comes from each other. It doesn't have to come from necessarily even those who succeeded. So that has been done. The reputation that we can do it in younger people is there, and the people who fund beyond just mentoring, I mean, they have become believers. Okay, so that part has been done very well. I think what Thai has done very well, in my opinion, there's many things have evolved, new ideas here, but there is the Thai Institute, okay, which is a phenomenal in my opinion, because as somebody who says I want to be an entrepreneur, he begins the process of collecting, little learnings here, there, listening, going, and it's like the preparatory period prior to jumping into things. So Thai Institute plays an extremely important role. TiEcon plays an extremely important role, listening to these great speakers, right? So from that point of view, particularly Silicon Valley Thais programs have become very, very extensive. Okay? I think we do 50 programs a year, or some such large number.
That's right.
Phenomenal. I mean, and I think the success of Thai is also, first I was president, and my great achievement, at least I felt, is to convince Kanwal to become the second president. Okay, and so we've had this tradition of passing on the baton, and we're still involved. Okay, so over time, you have this body of people who are all, whether they are officials or not, they're all there, helping the organization, achieve its goals.
I think that's gratifying to know for a lot of younger people who are joining this, because they look up to you still, and people like Kanwal and many others who were the founding members of this organization. So if I take you back to your entrepreneurial journey when you actually started Cirrus Logic, at that time, people like you and Kanwal and Prabhu and many others who were professionals who came here to study, became good professionals and took the switch for entrepreneurship. So Indians were not known for entrepreneurship.
Right.
They were known as the backroom boys, as engineers.
Yes.
So the challenges are very huge. And when I talk to other people like yourself and Kanwal, now you go to Sandhill, it's not difficult to find an Indian in any of the top tier VC firms. But in those days, it was very, very challenging. So I wanted to ask you if you could share your experience when you actually thought of starting Cirrus Logic.
Yeah, the interesting thing for me, particularly me, is that, I had many mentors. Only one of them, who had an Indian connection. There was Amar Bose, right? Who was a professor at MIT. When I went to graduate school, came to know him, and he started Bose.
Of course, I think the world knows Bose.
So that was great. But also, other people who were entrepreneurs, whether professor entrepreneurs or otherwise entrepreneurs, somehow I was able to make a connection. So my entrepreneurs were not, from Indus origin as much as they were Americans here. Okay, Chinese professor, and my host family is Jewish. Okay? So I can't call him host father because he was like big brother. He's 10 years older than me, but his family had a business background. He was coach for me from, day one, before even I, started the company. So I had, think about it, beneficiary of, Jewish American with business background. What better can you get, right? So because of those mentors, I had certain amount of education prior to that. And when I did decide, someone to consult. Okay? And literally, particularly my Jewish host, guided me through very, very tricky thing, explaining me how the business side works, how the stocks and stock options, even though I'm a lawyer, I needed a person to help me. And so I learned from that. So it's very natural for me to be, a coach and a mentor, right? So that's how I started. There's no mystery to it, right? All these people rooting for me. And when it came to raising funds, first company started with upfront customer financing, which hasn't been talked very much about. But then after a few years, I had to raise money, and the same set of mentors, they gave me seed money. What more can you ask for? Advice and then money and then guidance. So it just doesn't happen, entrepreneurs say, I built it, everything myself. It doesn't happen that way. The whole community, of professionals and others gets behind you to make you successful, right?
Sure.
That's what happens.
But not everyone gets that lucky, if I may say so, to have this kind of quality mentors as you have. Because most of the entrepreneurs from Indian origin, you talk to them, obviously they had, I think, more challenges, than the other ethnicities here.
So let me share with you. Firstly, nobody hands you, a mentor
Sure.
or a coach.
Sure.
Okay? You have to earn that. Okay? And yes, I was lucky, but the luckiness part means still originates from your desire and how you interact, okay? So that they feel the closeness in order to become. Then they see, are you boastful? Are you, you come across as honest? Or, how they judge your ability, the skills. All of these things, kind of goes together so that you rise above the crowd, okay? In order to earn, that, relationship. Okay? So I was actually, pretty good at it. I became good at it. And so I had this. But yes, the luck is that I was in places where these people were there. And I had the opportunity, to persuade them to become my mentors and coaches.